I'm Ken Paulson. We're on board the Sandy Beaches Cruise number 23, and I'm sitting here with Lari White from the great city of Nashville.
Nash Vegas, as we like to say.
And we're going to get interrupted, I think, during the next couple minutes because you can't sit with this woman for long without somebody coming up and gushing over one of your many performances. Is it hard to be a star, Lari?
Is it hard? Are you kidding? It's a blast. Why do you think I got into
Yeah.
this?
Well, Lari's had an amazing career. She was an actor. She was and is an actor. She had a wonderful, I think, 3 or 4 top 10 country hits as an artist. Has this great R&B area she's mining now. That has done one solo album and comes back to that sound whenever I see her in public. It's just a great talent. And then you were in movies with Tom Hanks, and you were in Country Strong, and you had a nice little career.
It's been it is an interesting ride. And it is what I've always kind of envisioned in its own weird way. I remember as a child, when I would fantasize about being, a famous music entertainer type person, I was always what I pictured in my head was, I'll make a rock and roll record, and then I'll make a jazz record, and then I'll do a movie, and then I'll do a Broadway show tunes record, and then I'll do a Broadway show. That was how I pictured it when I was like 7.
And you just did all that.
Well, it was funny, as it wasn't until I actually got deep into the business and was a professional recording artist that I realized just how really you're not supposed to do that. You really have to find your one style of music and do that over and over and over. And I just never was good at that. I just couldn't do just one thing.
Full disclosure, I've known Lari for maybe close to 20 years now. I love this woman, and even though I only choose to interview people I actually like.
Oh, that's smart of you.
That's right. That's right. I find if I do more than my usual gushing, this one's real sincere. So, anyway, Lari has been all over this boat, and you've sat in with people. You've had your own show. The dynamics have got to be different from anything else you do, right?
It really is. I've never been a cruise person, first of all. I wouldn't choose to go on a cruise for a vacation on purpose. But I had been hearing about Delbert's Cruise from friends of mine in Nashville and in Austin, songwriter friends who would talk about coming on the cruise and how much fun it was, and what a different kind of community, there was a real sense of community, and that kind of got me interested. So when Delbert invited Chuck, my husband, Chuck Cannon is a songwriter artist, and they invited us for the first time, I think 6 years ago.
Wow.
And told us we could bring our kids. We have 3 children, so we thought that could be interesting, and it turned out to be really one of the highlights of our year, something that we have looked forward to every year. There's a real special spirit, I think. All the artists really enjoy hearing each other perform and sitting in with each other, and these late night jams that just spontaneously erupt with musicians from all the different bands, or Red Young just sitting down at the piano bar, and Raul Malo and Teresa James, or everybody just going in and sitting in and singing their favorite, Johnny Mercer songs. I mean, where else do you get to do something like that,
Last night, were you around when Red did the Animals' greatest hits?
I can you believe that? The whole discography, and different guest artists sitting in and singing different songs. It was just.
And there was a group sing on House of the Rising Sun, which is really unique. In addition to appearing with all these folks, Lari had her own solo show, and the good thing is Lari has new and largely unheard material out. A brand new. It's an album. It's a double EP. I'm not quite sure how to designate it, but it's a very attractive package, and it is called Old Friends, New Loves.
That's right.
That's right.
And it's the first full-length records that I've made in almost 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was pent-up demand, and you had to have 2 concepts.
All kinds of things pent up. Yeah. It's been fun because one half of the project, the Old Friends half of the project, I went back and re-recorded kind of Americana unplugged singer-songwriter versions of some of the hits that I had back in country radio, Lead Me Not, and That's How You Know When You're in Love, and all these great old friends of mine artists and singers and writers, like Leroy Parnell came and played slide on a track, and Delbert came and sang, Susie Boggess came and sang on a track with me. So the Old Friends project is older songs that a lot of people are familiar with already, with friends that are also familiar to me and to my fans. But then there's this whole set of songs on the other half of the project that no one's ever heard, because they're songs that I've written in the last few years that have never been recorded before. So gosh, I mean, I've got Victor Wooten playing bass on one just like jazzy, torchy song called Champagne, and just some really wonderful musicians appearing on these new songs that are released for the first time. So it's been a fun project.
And the great thing about that project, it spans your, as you say, your country, but then your love of kind of classic jazz, vocal jazz, and R&B. It all comes through on the same.
All of it. And you know, the only Grammy Awards I've ever been a part of are all gospel music. So there's a gospel song called "In God's Hands" that I wrote a few years ago. So it really is like the schizophrenic Lari White story with all the different musical influences that I love that are all present on this project.
I would normally encourage people to go to their closest record store to buy it, but that could be miles and miles and miles now, unfortunately.
Or as close as their computer.
There you go. I'm guessing LariWhite.com, is that?
LariWhite.com, definitely. I hope everybody. I'm really working to be in touch with my fans directly. I mean, I'm into the social media thing, Facebook. I have a Facebook page and all the usual suspects, but I'm really working on reconnecting with my fans through email. So I would love for everybody to come to my LariWhite.com site, sign up on my email list, because I'll send out free songs to my email list from time to time, or little secret blogs and things like that. So I like to be in touch with my fans on as direct a way as I can. But you can also get this new project on iTunes and Amazon, you know.
So thank you for your time. I do have one message for Chuck Cannon in case he comes across this. Chuck, you're a very big deal on Que Amo. I get that. Lari owns this boat too, so, and don't forget that.
We each have our own cruise. That's nice,
right,
isn't it?
that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lari.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Always a blast.